If you're a business owner, coach, consultant, or service provider, and you are posting content consistently, but people aren't buying from you, they are not connecting, and they're not converting, then they're not really even engaging that much, then I can almost guarantee you that this is because you've got an incomplete personal brand or one doesn't even exist yet. And I know that sounds harsh, but I need you to hear this because this is the thing that will separate people from absolutely smashing it online to the people who are stuck in this cycle of creating content that just doesn't go anywhere and neither does the business. So most people think a brand is a logo, a color scheme, a nice grid on Instagram, maybe a bio, it sounds professional, and that is not what a personal brand is in any way, shape or form. A personal brand is so much deeper, right? And today I'm going to go through every single element of it, basically with what belongs to a personal brand, so you can look at yours, look at mine, see what you're missing, see why people are connecting with other people and not you, and then go, sweet, I can crack on from here. Because the thing is, right, your personal brand is the single most important asset that you have inside your business. It is the thing that gets people to trust you before they ever even see your offer. Even if it's not built properly, like everything becomes 10 times harder without a personal brand. So before we get into the actual elements, I want you to understand what a personal brand is at its actual core. So your personal brand is how people perceive you. It's the feeling that someone gets when they see your content, they land on your page and they hear your name. It is not a single post, it is not a single story, it is an accumulation of every single impression that you've basically ever made on someone, right? It's about volume over time. And the reason that this matters so much is because people will always trust a person more than they trust a logo. So for example, you've got Tesla, then you've got Elon Musk, you've got Gymshark, then you've got Ben Francis, right? People will attach onto the person over the company. So what we need to do, right, as a business owner and a service provider in particular, is we need to lead with us. We need to arrowhead everything at what we do, and we need to make sure our personal brand is basically well built into people in every single framework that you're putting out there. And I've seen this play out with hundreds of people that I've worked with, and the people who've invested into their personal brands have gone on to do absolutely incredible things with easy inbound leads, higher sales conversions, more engagement in content naturally. So let's break down what actually needs to happen inside your personal brand. So the first element that belongs inside your personal brand is your origin story. And this is probably the single most important one out of every single one of them. So your origin story is basically where you came from, what you went through, the breaking points, what transformations you experienced, and how all of that basically led to what you do today. And the reason that this is so powerful is because it builds trust at a level that no amount of content or tips or tricks will ever be able to match. Like, you can post 5 tips on how to grow your business or whatever, or for me, I'm the council house consultant. I built a multi-7-figure company off a pretty questionable background, and people respect me for that. So people want to know who you are. They want to know where you've been, what you've been through, what you got to this point. They want to basically feel like they can relate to your journey. So your origin story is not just about where you started, it's about the breaking points, the failures, the moments, positioning yourself as a conqueror of your own story and situation. And where people basically get this wrong is they think sharing stuff will make them look weak, but it's the complete opposite. It makes you human and it makes you relatable, and it gives people a reason to actually trust you in the first place because they can see that you've actually lived what you are teaching. So if your audience does not know about your origin story, then I would probably start talking about that there. The second element is your beliefs and your opinions, and this one is what people are most scared to actually put out there. So I've always used the same analogy. It's a bit of a strange analogy. If 5 people walked into a room, 2 of them were really rude to me, 1 of them said hello, and 2 of them ignored me, I'd still trust the 2 people who were rude to me and the person who said hello compared to the people who didn't, because I know where they stand. And that's where your audience basically is at the moment on social media. If you're not sharing your opinions, if you're not putting your beliefs out there, and if you're just basically posting generic content to anyone about anything, then what can they actually connect with in the first place? So your beliefs basically are what will basically get to a point of showing what you stand for as a person, what you think about your industry, what you might not agree with, what mainstream methods that you reject and why, and what values actually guide you and your business decisions, because your opinions are what basically take the positioning on that. Like, you're not scared to lose people over it. Like, and a lot of people don't understand that it's not about trying to work with everyone. It's about speaking to your people. And when your beliefs and opinions are really strong and online, like, it's the difference between having a 6-figure company and a 7-figure company. So stop trying to please everyone. Stop telling everyone what they want to think and what they want to hear, and start talking about what you actually believe and what you actually care about. Number 3 is your positioning, right? And this is where differentiation is so important, because your personal brand is the only real USP that you've actually got. So Positioning is basically where you stand in a marketplace, like relative to everybody else. It's how you are perceived and compared against competition, and it's a reason why someone would actually choose to work with you compared to 50 other people who are doing the same thing. And the problem right now in industries is that everyone's starting to talk exactly the same, creating same content, same hooks, same source, chat GPT, sameness, and nobody's standing out anymore. So your personal brand positioning is the single most important thing that you need to focus on. So the easiest way to do that is just be authentic. It's not about copying someone else or doing whatever. It's about looking at what you do and why it makes it different. What different processes have you got? What is unique to you? And one of the best things that you can do for positioning is basically call out your anti-positioning. So this is where you are identifying 3 to 5 other mainstream beliefs or strategies that you don't agree with, and simply attack it and call it out like I do all the time. Because when you reject something that everyone else is promoting or other people are, you naturally separate yourself, and people start to see you as someone who actually thinks for themselves rather than just regulates and follows the crowd in every single avenue, which is happening all the time. Number 4 is your voice and your tone, right? And people really underestimate this one. Your voice is not just what you say, it's how you say it. It is the energy that you have, the language that you use, the terminology, the phrases, and the things that you basically constantly say, because people get used to what you're saying and you become known for certain terms. So when you're basically looking at this, if you are naturally funny or you swear like me, or sometimes you're a bit dead set and dead tone and serious, just lean into whatever your real thing is, because your natural brand voice actually sounds like you, and the words and phrases that you actually use and the energy that you bring is the type of thing that will align to the tonality and energy of what someone else will like, and that's what we're trying to do. Right, so this is how you maintain this, and across everything, not just a piece of content, but if you've got a sales call, a sales script, an email nurturing, a follow-up, like you maintain that same tonality on how you want to do it. And I promise you the level of performance that you'll see in your company will be ridiculous just from having your authentic voice and scripts and everything through there as well. Because when your voice is consistent and people are hearing you consistently, then you're building something powerful, because you're naturally just generating more trust, right? And your brand voice is basically what's going to make sure that you are showing up everywhere, because you're being just yourself. The next one is your content pillars, and these are basically your frameworks, right? And everything that you speak about. So this is basically where you've got 3 to 5 topics that your brand is consistently creating content around, which is going to be around your personal brand, your offer, your target audience, pain, goals, aspirations. So for example, mine are personal brand, systems, sales, client acquisition, AI, mindset, leadership. That's mostly what I speak about. I don't really speak about anything else outside of that. And the reason that being is because I want to maintain an authority in that space, and I don't want to dilute myself too much, like I wouldn't want you to do either. So people might start talking about 1,000 different topics on a month-to-month basis, and it eventually gets to a point of people thinking, right, well, what does this person actually help me with? Like, who even is this person? I don't know who is that. Doesn't sound like them. Or do you know what I mean? Like, the more authentic, the more straight, and the more aligned you are to your personal branding, your messaging, and your core beliefs and your opinions, like the more impact and trust that you're going to have. Because when someone thinks about personal branding strategy, they should think of when someone thinks about basically a business that is scaling, like whatever pillars that there are, think about what's in people's minds. That's what I want you to think about, right? The last one coming in here is going to basically be your visual identity, and this is the easiest one out of the lot. So your visual identity, right, is your colors, it's your fonts, it's your graphics, it's your content styles, it's everything there, but it's also literally just you, right? Because there's no better visual identity to have than basically just what you are doing on a week-to-week basis. It's the only thing that actually makes you truly unique and a true USB to your audience, by who actually are you on a day-to-day basis, who are you on a weekend, who are you on a week-to-week basis. So your visual identity can then be aligned to creating more basically depth and connection with your personal brand, and it basically creates this cohesiveness. So mine is just like, I climb mountains, I walk the dogs, I'm a dad, I'm a husband, I'm a team leader, I like helping people. So I have loads of content which just shows that, so people slowly get to know me a hell of a lot more, right? So your brand doesn't need to try and connect to everybody. That's the most important element that I want to basically get across here. It's about getting the foundations right with your voice, your messaging, your tonality, then getting your visual identity, and then finally you can start coming into alignment. And this is basically just what brings everything together, but I won't rush into it straight away. So your personal brand and your offer are two separate things, but they need to be completely and utterly aligned, because people are going to buy personal brand before they even look at your offer. Genuinely, people will buy you before they even give a fuck about what you are doing elsewhere. So your personal brand can't be saying one thing and then your offer is saying another. That's all I'm looking for here, is alignment. When people have got your personal brand on the front end and they've got that trust component and that relatability, what we don't want is to have an offer which completely disregards everything that you've been trying to present with your personal brand, right? It all needs to come into an alignment. It's just a straight line process. It's actually really easy. So your personal brand is simplicity and systems and cutting through the noise, and it might be easy, simple ways that you can just capture content of yourself and getting your anti-beliefs and core messaging system down as a starting point. And then your offer is just as simple as we help or I help with, so they can avoid, and then make sure that you're merging your personal brand with that there. So really easy overview of what an actual personal brand is, and I feel like the market has lost sight of this, but now with the AI era that we're going through at the moment, personal branding is going to stand out more than it's ever done before, because everybody is creating the exact same type of content and getting it from the same type of source. So if you can build a personal brand which is unique and positions you as a place of trust, authority, respect and everything else onto that side, and then on top of that, adopt to AI, which I bang on about all the time, to do all of your manual workload for you at 100 times the speed and pace that you'd ever be able to do it. Remove all your manual workload. You're going to win in today's market. Literally, I swear on life, you will win. Personal branding, AI adoption. And if you don't believe me, take the test in the description, in my YouTube description, or message me on Instagram and I can send it you there, and you'll see on that test it's got a report which tells you the strength of your personal brand, the strength you've adopted to AI, and on top of that as well, I'll give you a custom GPT that you can use for free to support you with both those areas, guys. And if you are interested in working with me or the coach consultant, then head over to the link in my description to book a call directly. See you next time.